Technology has been making some super cool advances over the years, but as time has passed, even the most revolutionary ideas have started to seem a bit meh. So today, we've made a list of 6 such technologies that we think are totally overhyped. Now, whether it's because they overpromised from the get-go or have become unstable over the years is what you'll find out in this video. Let's start with the metaverse. Yeah, okay, we get it, Zuckerberg. The metaverse is the new cool. But strangely, after the initial excitement of seeing vendors like Facebook, Meta, endorse the idea and promote it as a whole new digital realm, it's kind of fallen flat, especially in the eyes of CIOs, who've called this the most overhyped of technology revolutions. Sure, the metaverse does tease the idea of a perfect world where cars drive themselves, robots do gymnastics, and monkeys can be your new gaming partners, but it also talks about a super idealistic world where a lot needs to change to make way for such a universe. Or as Bob Johnson, CIO of the American University of Paris, puts it, the metaverse doesn't really change the way we live. In fact, he goes on to call it a Hollywood perspective of life where every single thing, every advanced technology and infrastructure is invisible. That doesn't seem like something that could keep up with the real world, now does it? Do you remember that Black Mirror episode, San Junipero and Yorkie and Kelly fall in love with each other in a virtual world? Well, in reality, they're actually elderly ladies receiving cancer treatment in an advanced facility. Yeah, the metaverse kind of does sound like that. And software companies agree. Yeah, it's not just the CIOs who are skeptical about the technology. A recent poll from Momentive and Axios proved this and found that most Americans rarely give this tech much thought. Statistically, 60% aren't even aware of the concept, and those who know aren't better off either because 35% of them say they're scared of the concept, while 50% say they don't care. Only 14% of people who know about the metaverse are excited. So yeah, not the most promising results, are they? And even though executives and higher-ups in some companies have shown their enthusiasm in adapting to the meta, others have blamed the hype on social media companies. You know which one. And NFTs. They say we need a lot of clarity on the metaverse and how we see its evolution. Only then can we turn it into a meaningful, strategic information engine. What they aren't saying, obviously, is that the wrong use of this tech would definitely lead to an unending dystopia in the world, but hey, we get that all too well. Second, we have collaborative apps. You know, Slack, Asana, Trello, and the works. Not that these are bad. These technologies definitely help the world connect and work better at the time of the pandemic. But according to CIOs, now we have too many collaborative apps for too many tasks. For all of them, in fact. Why is that a bad thing? Imagine you're coming into work and signing up on an HR app, then logging into another communication one, and then checking your tasks on a third app, and then actually start working on an interface of a fourth. Yeah, that's too many apps, too many notifications, and too much stress adding to the already existing world of super fast technology. Not ideal, is it? Next up is artificial intelligence. Wait, people are dissing AI? When did that happen? Well, after the whole scenario where that Google employee called its AI sentient and was fired right after. Super shady behavior right there, dudes. And CIOs around the world agree. In fact, a lot of them aren't even buying into the hype anymore. In 2021, KPMG did a survey about 1,000 executives on their thoughts about AI and found that 74% of them believe that the use of AI to help businesses is more hype than reality. And yeah, they're not wrong. AI has served as a solution in most cases when people need automation or want to get things to be done right. But as powerful as artificial intelligence is, it needs to be kept in check. We don't want an Ultron situation happening in the real world now, do we? And if this tech keeps growing at the pace it is, well, also being sentient and smart enough on its own, we don't see a very bright future for humanity here. And the situation isn't too different on the other side, where even the most powerful intelligence systems need human support in the form of data scientists to manage them. After all, AI is mostly based on pattern matching, and any wrong series of codes or unfamiliar data could turn your system into a dysfunctional mess, disrupting your entire workflow, and in some cases, your entire life. So when CIOs say that AI is used more like an advertising pitch than an actual solution, we agree. And there's also the world of cloud, especially in enterprises where the codependency on cloud systems has become super unhealthy. Because while companies have made the shift to cloud storage and solutions, they aren't using it to its full potential. What they should be doing is using cloud systems to train their people to automate and learn their tasks better. But this is from Monique Dumais-Crissope, Senior VP and CIO of Encore Capital Group. What they're doing instead is shifting their ready-made code to the cloud without thinking of scaling or adapting to the solutions that tech provides. See the problem? According to CIOs, shifting to the cloud doesn't really mean you've done something revolutionary. It just means you've picked your data and moved it to a virtual location. How that data is to be used and grown is still your your job, but you're too caught up in the whole buzzwordy aspect of it to notice. And that right there is the problem with cloud-based solutions. Then we have the ever-popular blockchain. You've heard the phrase Ponzi scheme, right? Named after Charles Ponzi, the phrase gained popularity after his scheme to pay investors 50% quick returns in international mail coupons failed, because instead of legit business, he was paying earlier investors from funds provided by new investors. Soon enough, his business model failed, and his name became synonymous with all fraudulent investment schemes in the world. That was the 1920s. Strangely enough, Charles Ponzi's scheme is still at large, only now it's a much bigger threat to global finance than anything else. Yes, we're talking about crypto and its sister, blockchain, which the CIOs of the world have also called an overhyped piece of tech. According to these chief information gurus, blockchain is another technology that's failed to live up to its hype of being transformative, or even useful. Sure, a decade ago it was the buzzword of the generation that kept people on their toes, or should we say, screens, looking for ways to use blockchain as a way to digitize finance. Now, though, it's just too big of a hassle, because in actual practice, this technology has proven difficult to qualify as a legitimate use case for higher-ups and executives. Not that the same people aren't sure it will deliver up to its potential in the future. We just hope it isn't a dystopian future they're talking about. And right after blockchain, we have Web3 technologies. That's another inclusion in the list of technologies CIOs feel are a scam, including Gray Taffet, who is the managing partner at Taffet Associates, who thinks NFTs, crypto, blockchain, and overall Web3 are all overhyped. According to him, companies may have rushed to implement these technologies because they don't want to be left out, but it's all a bandwagon move for them. He does add that even though Web3 tech has got potential, it's not being utilized by most executives, and they're just opting for it to prove a point. To whom, though? Because if you asked us, adapting to new tech without due diligence is a suicide move. Of course, you could learn as you go, but with such major technology, isn't learning and implementing a better way than just taking the leap? Taffet agrees, as he talks about the Web3 projects he's working on, saying that they're having a hard time finding people who have both technical and business experience to make such tech work. He says that this is the biggest problem contributing to the misuse and hype surrounding Web3. But can't that be fixed? Sure it can. This problem is normal in an innovation's early days. Hey, even the internet was an unknown phenomenon a few decades ago, and you could imagine all the possibilities without having the actual means to make them happen. But to learn a technology, you need to invest in its growth and accessibility instead of investing into using it right away. Because, to be fair, none of us know exactly how powerful Web3 can be aside from being used in the world of NFTs. A lot of CIOs and experts have wondered the same. What can it be used for beyond buying and selling collectibles? Others say that this is just the beginning, and that NFTs may make way for actual business transactions and even companies to be created using Web3 as a base. Which brings us back to the point we mentioned when talking about the metaverse, that such powerful technology requires a powerful infrastructure that doesn't exist in real time yet. And that stands true for all the tech we've discussed today. Guess we know what our next steps should be when it comes to our overhyped technologies. And that's a wrap for this video. See you in the next one.